Hey everyone, this video is designed to help you work through the practice problems, going over and calculating measures of central tendency and measures of variability. We're going to be looking over these 5 questions today and calculating the median, mean, range, variance, and standard deviation. Okay, we're going to be doing that for Samuel L. Jackson movies as rated by Rotten Tomatoes. So in the left grid here, you can see the Samuel L. Jackson movies, Changing Lanes, Unbreakable, Deep Blue Sea, and their corresponding Rotten Tomato values. So how highly they're basically ranked on a score from 0 to 100. Okay, so we're going to find first the median value for these Rotten Tomatoes values of movies. So we're going to start by ordering them from lowest to highest to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Okay, so we start with 52 and move down. Okay, now that we have all of those ordered from lowest to highest, we just merely look at whichever one is in the middle. So that becomes pretty obvious to us that it's this one in section 4. There's 3 scores above, 3 scores below. So this is our median. Okay, so next we want our mean. So if you remember, the formula for mean is the sum of our x's, so all of our scores, over the number of x's. Okay, so the sum of our x's happens to be 489. So if you add up all of those numbers above, that's what you get, 489, and then you're dividing it by 7 because there are 7 scores, 7 movies. Okay, if you do that calculation, what you get is a mean of 69.85. We're just going to round it up to 9. Okay, so 69.9. That is our mean for this, and that's going to become obviously important when we try to calculate variance and standard deviation. But first things first, let's go to range. So range is simply taking your high number and subtracting your low number from that. So the highest score of all these movies was Pulp Fiction. They got a 94 rating. So take 94 and subtract the lowest scored movie, which was Die Hard, that Sam Jackson was in. Okay, that's a 52. Subtract 52, and that equals 42. That is your... Okay, so that was your range at 42. Then you want to calculate the variance. Now is when we need our little box up in the right hand corner. We already have the scores ordered from lowest to highest. Now what we're going to need to do is enter our means in this box here. Okay, so we added our mean in the second column of ink markings. I changed the column heading to mean so it becomes a little bit easier, and you see an X in the movie quality column. That is just our X's, our individual scores. Okay, so I entered the means in each of the individual cells, and now we need to take it a step further. We need to subtract the mean from each of the individual scores to get our third inked column, the X minus mean column. So let's go ahead and do that. We will write it out here. Okay, as you can see, I've entered all of the X minus mean scores in the third inked column, the X minus mean column. Okay, so 52 minus 69.9 is negative 17.9, 56 minus 69.9 is negative 13.9, and all the way down to 24.1. Okay, next what we need to do is we need to square those values. Okay, square the values in the X minus mean column. Remember, we're trying to get rid of those negatives. We just want to know the distance away from the mean. The negatives would kind of mess things up for us. So we're going to square those values in that fourth column right here. Okay, now as you can see, we've squared all of our X minus mean values to get our final fourth column on the right. So the square value of negative 17.9 is 320.41, all the way down to the square of 24.1 is 580.81. Okay, so if we come look at our overall equation for variance, we have the sum of x minus the mean squared over, I don't know what happened here, there we go, over n. Okay, so the top one, the top portion, we have been showing in the quadrant up here. So x, we have all of our x's here in move equality. We have our means, second column, and we have our x minus our means. Okay, so after that we square it. So we've done this part, we just need to sum all of that now. So that will get us our sum of squares. All we need to do is add up all of these particular squared scores. Okay. Okay, so this top portion, after we sum all of the x minus mean squared values here in the fourth quarter, or fourth column, excuse me, is 1,182.87. Okay, and the n is obviously the number of scores, which we have 7. Okay, so if we take 1,182.87 divided by 7, we get 168.98. Okay, now that value is our variance. So if you remember, variance, s squared is the notation. So that is our variance. Okay, so we have s squared equals 168.98. That's our variance. Okay, now in order to get our standard deviation, remember we only have to take one more step. The difference between variance and standard deviation is one little thing. So we still have the same numerator, the same denominator. We just take the square root of the whole thing. Okay? So all we need to do is take the square root of our variance here. So if our variance is 168.98, simply take the square root. Okay, so we simply take the square root of 168.98, and we get 12.99. Let's just call it 13. Okay, so we have a variance of 168.98, and we have a standard deviation of 13. Okay, we saw our range was 42. Our median we saw above 68, and our mean 69.9. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me via email or come by to my office hours this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, thanks all. See you later.